market perspectives, which obviously we've done a better job collectively. So hearing each other from across Europe. So we have guests from Germany, from Belgium, from Netherlands. So all the guests and our super host, Odile, again, who will be coordinating some questions and some to bring up some insights. So I guess that's it. I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation. I'll be very brief, remembering that everyone is very welcome to interact on the chat. I'll be handling that. Yes, so please everyone remind to have their mic off and feel free to interact at the chat. We'll have 1 hour panel and we'll be sure to leave 5 minutes at the end for anyone who would like to open the mic and video to say hello, to place questions. But yes, pretty much there was a lot to be discussed. So over to you, Odile. Thanks again for being the host.
Thank you, Alice, and thank you everybody for joining us today. I'm delighted to introduce you to our panel. We have 3 brilliant people from the industry that I'm sure most of you already know, but I'm going to do a short introduction. So thank you, first of all, for taking the time today to join us and share your expertise and your insights. So I'm going to start with Vivian. So Vivian from Germany, from Windrose Finest Travel. So Vivian was born in Mexico. She grew up in Spain, but her parents being German, she returned to Germany a bit over 20 years ago, where she started working almost straight away for Windrose. She's in charge of the Americas, the Pacific Islands, and around the world tours today. And it's a company, for those who don't know, but I'm sure all of you do know Windrose, that sells B2B and B2C worldwide, FIT and groups, and is about a company of 40 people. So thank you, Vivian, for being here today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Then we have Hilda from the Netherlands. So Hilda is half Chilean, like myself, and half Venezuelan. She used to work as a lawyer in Caracas when she met her husband, Tim. And together they created Avila in 2010. And this company has grown a lot in these last years because they are now 24 people in a new office in Amsterdam. And not only do they do worldwide FIT, they also do, they do the Nat Geo bookings. I mean, the Nat Geo Expeditions booking office for the Netherlands. And they've also developed DMC services. So they've been growing a lot throughout the years, and very, very excited to have you with us here today, Hilda. So thank you.
Thank you, Odile. Thank you for the invitation.
Then last but not least, we have Chris from Belgium. So Chris was a tour guide in Latin America since 1996 for 12 years. So imagine how well he knows Latin America. Very impressive. Then when he went back to Belgium, he worked for a different tour operator first. And in 2013, he joined Travel Sensations and is in charge of the Latin American branch. They have 12 specialists and they do B2B only, but all tailor-made FITs. So thank you so much, Chris, for being here today as well.
Nice to join you.
So I'm going to jump in straight with the hard questions. Well, the first thing I just wanted to have a bit of a feel of is about how are things looking at the moment? Are things looking a bit brighter with all the travel restrictions lifting in Europe, or has the war in Ukraine created a bit of a cloud amongst the people and, you know, their desire to travel? So what's just the general feel? If you could maybe start, Vivian.
Well, we've been working now since November for full. Before we had a reduced working time, and I have to say, since November, the bookings have been increasing a lot, and it's still an issue because we have some difficulties in selling. But of course, right now, the war, the between Russia and the Ukraine has made that some of the people have changed their minds and want to cancel some bookings. And we noticed that, yes, that there is a cloud right now over it. But I hope that they will find a solution soon, and we will keep on going with a very optimistic feeling for the next time.
Thank you. How do you feel about it, Hilda?
Well, I think it's really positive that from January it's like an explosion of requests and booking, and I think everything was looking great in the Netherlands. We started with booking to Latin America in May 2021 with few countries like Costa Rica and Mexico. And then after, like Vivian says, September, October, November, again, a lot of booking for Christmas and New Year. And it was like, okay, the day before the war was in the Netherlands. We are free with our mask, we are free with everything. And the day after was in the news about the war. Will be in the weekend. Do we have a new request? If not, and the request open, they will be they will book it. If not, but after that we have a really nice week with 10 bookings or so from different parts of the world. So I think the war is of course like a cloud in this brighter time, but I think it's too early to say that will be affect us like a person, affect us in the population, but it's too early to say that will affect the bookings to Latin America. I think we need to wait a little to see what happened, and I think it will be affected to the flights, to the prices of the flight for the gas and the oil. That can be a problem, not in the luxury segment, but maybe in the lower budget segment for Latin America. But we still are positive about this time. Yes,
that's great to hear. Thank you so much. What about you, Chris? How do people feel in Belgium?
I think people are more worried about the consequences of the war, and that's like Hilda already said. Pricing is going up, especially energy prices, and I think that's what's worrying people at the moment. I don't really know if it will affect, of course, the travels, not only to Latin America, but we had a week of school vacations, which is always a slow week in Belgium, so it's hard to tell what the effect is. But we're still booking and making reservations at the moment, so it didn't stop. Let's say. But it's difficult to compare because of the week of vacation, which is always a slow week.
I understand. I had meetings here in Paris today, and they were saying the same thing. It's like, is it the war or is it the holidays? They weren't too sure.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So to be continued. It all depends on how things are going to develop for sure. So it's a bit early to say. And so now that you're saying that bookings are starting to pick up and everything, are they mostly new bookings? Are there still a lot of old bookings that need to be handled? I'm just going to start with you, Chris, and if you just let me know.
We still have old bookings like from 2020, 2021 that are being rebooked, but those are the last ones. It's in the main the majority of the new bookings are new bookings. Yeah, actually, yeah. So
okay, that's good. Finally, no.
Well, as you all know and as you all experienced, our work wasn't the most wonderful thing the last years with the rebookings and everything, the vouchers and all that kind of things. And I think we finally let that behind, and we're just confirming our last reports, I think, and postpone bookings. So I hope we can really start with new ones.
Well, great that now it's about new exciting bookings. Is it the same for you, Vivian? Are you dealing with the last, or is there still, you know, I know the rules are a little bit different according to different countries for vouchers and having to give money back. So how's it been in Germany?
No, well, we also mainly have new clients and new bookings. I have to say that all the bookings that we had to cancel during the pandemic, mainly we did not hear back from them to till now. So there are just a few bookings that we could move over the years. So we are also thankful for having new clients, and especially coming from travel agencies also a lot, because that's a change that we noticed, that many travel agencies do now book through tour operators because they want to have it all in one hand, and they feel more secure. Also, the clients feel more secure about it. And so we got a lot of new bookings about new travel agencies that we didn't work with them before. And yes, it can be a challenge for us, but it's an opportunity, definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. And for you, Hilda?
Yes, the same that Vivian says. We have a lot of new clients, new B2B clients coming to Avila. That's really nice. And to say something, when we started the pandemic, it was like 700,000 euros of vouchers for people who need to rebook back the money, and now we have only 30,000. So it's really great. There are very good news and positive. So for sure, the new clients and the new booking are growing.
And,
yes.
And just a quick question regarding the travel agencies. Do you feel that have there been lots who have shut down, or are there more than before, or the same? Do you have a feel about how that part of the industry has been affected?
I think that that part of the industry was, of course, affected because they were the most, they didn't have help from the government. So there was more personal travel advisors. But even with that, they are confident to book with through a tour operator. So I think that what happened with the pandemic is the people are more sensitive. You know, the people are more take care of the neighbor, take care of the other. So a lot of clients are going to that people, and they are going to us. So that is what happened now. Yes.
And for you, Vivian, do you feel that the travel agents, have they been much affected? Have they managed to stay afloat? Do you see
there are still many of them that do not work with as much persons as they did work before. So many people left, and there are just a few still in the offices, and they do work from home. And reduced hours, so we still have that a lot in Germany still.
Right. And in your case, Chris, you mean you only do B2B, but have you seen any differences in the travel agents?
Yeah, so some of them stopped, but I think that those were already travel agents that already were like thinking of stopping, and the pandemic was just let's say the last drop for them. So that it was they ended the office because they were already they intended to end anyway within a few years, but pandemic really
just pushed them to do it a bit quicker.
That's it.
Fair enough. Yeah. And Chris, what do you think about the purchase behavior of the clients? At one point we saw that last minute bookings were like a proper thing because people were a bit afraid that maybe the restrictions were going to change, so they just wanted to make sure that they were going to be able to travel. Has that changed?
The last weeks has changed. We had a lot of last minute requests in February till February, and then it started changing. So people are restarting to plan on a longer let's say for the summer, for next year, but it used to be that tendency, but now it's like it's easing up. So there's more confidence.
So going back to the way that it was before, people want to plan, especially I guess because Latin America is such a big trip and it's so far away that you want to have a bit of
and because
information and time.
Because for a lot of destinations where let's say the accommodation flights are really limited. We also give the clients the tip to book quite as soon as they can, like before Chile, Argentina, where you in certain periods have not a more limited accommodation it's best to book well before the travel. So.
Right, and Vivian, for the German market is one of the markets that tends to book the longest in advance. Did you have last minute bookings as well? Was that a thing in Germany?
Many last minute bookings, and it's still the same. Well, last minute bookings for Germany is also in 2 or 3 months. It must not be in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we have also long-term people asking for 2023 already. What we do not have is prizes and something. We have to see how we handle that, but it's short-term or really long-term. So the midway, it's still that we had before. It's not the usual way right now.
Right. Okay. So it has changed quite a lot then. So you have like both extremes.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Hilda? Do you have a change in?
Yes, I think we have both, but indeed, for example, with Christmas and New Year, where I can go next week. It was like 3 days before I need to go to the Caribbean or to Costa Rica. I remember one family for 10 people was, I want just to go next week. And they said, okay, but it's Costa Rica in December. It's just, everything is full. So people here from operations and from administration, they're going crazy about the last minute booking because people are booking most. They want to go and they say, okay, it is possible. They see in social media and with the friends that it's possible and that it's safe to travel. So they're more confident to book. It's really nice to see, but we have as well booking from July, from Christmas 2022 and even for next year. So okay, we have both. Yes.
And does that mean that numbers are getting a bit more normal, like compared to before, to pre-pandemic? How are things at the moment? Are you kind of slowly getting back to normal numbers? Are you still really far behind normal numbers? Hilda, do you think?
I think in our company it's really difficult to say because we develop a lot of new countries within the pandemic. So we now are doing North America, Europe, and the Middle East. So we have now the bookings that we get in 2019, and we're really happy that in February was wow. We celebrate. We are now in the same level of capital, but in Latin America is not just the level that we want to have that we have in 2019. But we see, for example, that Costa Rica is in the same level 2019, and Chile, Antarctica is going better. Argentina, Mexico, for example, is really popular right now. So it's not yet, but I think step for step we're getting there.
Okay, that's very good news. I'm very happy for you. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
How about you, Vivian?
Well, we have a lot of demand for Costa Rica. I think it's everywhere and it's fully booked. And also Mexico, so Central America. And we also sell, of course, North America. And North America is something that's really requested right now. And it's also, everything is fully booked in North America. And South America is still a challenge for us because we have many tours that do combine several countries, and as each country has different conditions to enter, it's quite difficult for us. And especially I have to say Chile. Chile is still a challenge for us. I have fully booked groups for November and for February next year. And I don't know, because of the Easter Islands still closed, no flights with LATAM that are working. Then in the north of Chile, there are flights that are missing from Sky Airlines. So several airlines closed. They do not have the connections they had. So I'm a little bit worried about being able to run these tours. There is still some time, but I was thinking about that already last year and was hoping to have a group in Chile in February, and I had to cancel everything. So yeah, South America is still quite difficult. We have some Ecuador, we have some Peru, some Argentina, Chile, but mainly if it's only the country itself and not that much going from one country to another one.
Of course. Well, I was just going to dive into the Latin America questions in a minute. I'm just going to ask Chris to let us know how sales are in general for the company, like compared maybe to pre-pandemic, and then we can look deeper into Latin America specifically, and compare, for example, I mean, I would be interested to know, compared to other continents, is Latin America really kind of falling behind because you guys sell everything? Or is it starting to pick up? And then within Latin America, what countries are working really well, and how are you seeing like that in the future? So I'm just gonna break down that question. So first, Chris, can you just let us know how sales are right now compared to pre-pandemic in general for the company, and then for Latin America?
In general, for the company, of course, it's quite lower because we had a lot of our specialists are working, our travel designers are working on Asia. So, and a lot of Asia is still closed. A lot of countries are still closed. So that's, of course, it's slightly improving, but not as much. Like countries like Japan are still closed, China are still closed. So yeah, so we're not even at the same numbers. What Latin America is concerned, we had a really very good beginning of 2020, which we had the same numbers in the first 3 months as the whole year before, so as the whole year 2019. So we are not at that kind of numbers yet. Huh? So at the moment, like in January and February, I was thinking that the only countries in Latin America that people are aware of were Mexico and Costa Rica, but that changed during the time. I already booked like a private group to Peru, booked a few Chile's, Argentina's, Ecuador, so that's taking up pace. So
you're starting to sell all of Latin America as opposed to just Costa Rica and Mexico.
Well, we were a bit specializing or focusing on let's say the destinations that are less known in Belgium, and that's among others Ecuador, but also Brazil, because the only things that people know are really the highlights of Brazil, while we are proposing a different product. And that's what I succeeded in before the pandemic, so I think it will retake. We see a lot of people who did do their request before the pandemic and are now recontacting us to pick up again their requests, which is to the different destinations.
Because, for example, obviously there's the restrictions that the countries, like for example Chile, that we know is very complicated. So that would be one thing that will, pause people to maybe think of other destinations. But what other problems are you finding for different destinations? I don't know, like maybe flight prices or something. Are there other barriers for Latin America at the moment for certain countries maybe? I mean, I know for Chile is the restrictions to enter Chile, but for other countries, are there different barriers?
Maybe a combination of countries, like Vivian already told. That's a bit of difficulty. So people are staying more to one country, one destination, which I think it's okay because there's a lot of things to offer and to see. And other restrictions or barriers could be like a lot of companies change their flights almost on a daily basis. So it's really difficult. Okay, I will call a few. If you have Iberia, for instance, is changing their flights all the time, so makes it difficult to adjust the programs. And prices are going up for the flights. That's true, but that's not the main reason, I think.
And how about for you, Hilda? So how is Latin America doing for you in general, and what destinations are selling well, and are you seeing any kind of problems with selling a few of them?
Well, I think in the pandemic was only one option, which countries are open and which countries are popular. Like, okay, if you don't need to use the mask in the street, if you need only to use the mask in the restaurant. So I think that was in the first time in the pandemic in 2021. So we sell Mexico, Costa Rica, and now I think now that the countries are more open, the flights are going okay with KLM again for in our case in the Netherlands. We're selling now again. Colombia is doing, yeah, it's not like before, but it's starting, and that is positive. Belize, Guatemala as well, Argentina is starting up. So I think if I can say in number one is Costa Rica, number two is Chile, and that's because I don't know, it's for the destination, it's for the amount that people spend there in Chile and in Antarctica, then Mexico and the fierce Peru. But we believe that when now that starting to open, that starting the restrictions are away, that people will be more confident to travel in the summer. So it's not that now everything is growing from January, but it's step for step. So there is hope. I think what happened with the other countries, like in Middle East of Europe, they were always open in the pandemic. So there's something, it's a flow that is going on, and that is the popularity is growing. But when America is open, then its popularity can grow again. And I really hope that for Brazil, because it's a really beautiful country, and for Colombia, for Panama, will be the same. Let's hope so.
Yeah, fingers
it's
crossed.
Like 20% right now. I think Africa is 35%, and Latin America 20-25%.
Okay, it's not too bad then. Yeah.
No, it's not bad.
How about you, Vivian? How is Latin America doing in general, and what is like the countries that are selling well and the ones that are having a rough time?
Well, the countries I already told before. But generally, we also, when the pandemic started, we moved many of our people working on Europe, and also we have a department called Finest Places that only sells a hotel and a flight and transfer, and that was really good booked from our clients because they just wanted to go 1 week to one destination like the Maldives or to Zanzibar or to wherever they could go. And so we managed to do, well, we had an enormous increase in that destinations. And then it came to Africa and the Arabic, and then Latin America, but well, America, mainly North America, and in there Latin America, of course. And then at the end, we have Asia. We still have a lot of problems with Asia, of course. But Chris already told, many of them are still closed, and we have now Australia opened. And we are focusing a little bit on that also. But in, well, South America, all the countries are open. So the people can travel mainly to all of the countries with more or less difficulties. I think Chile is the one that has the most difficulties right now to enter. But you can travel everywhere. But well, as said, mainly it is to go to one country and not to combine several countries. And
but are you saying, sorry, sorry to interrupt. Are you saying that people want to do several countries and can't, or that they don't want to do several countries?
Normally before they traveled a lot to several countries. When they went to South America, they went to, normally they combined Ecuador and Peru, they combined Chile and Argentina, and perhaps Brazil also. They combined Ecuador and Colombia, and when they travel once to South America, they want to see different countries. And what we notice right now, and it's also for us, is the way that we right now sell it, is that we tell them it's better to go just to one country, because we don't know really for the short-term bookings what will happen or what will be changed.
So it's basically your recommendation, because they still want to do the multiple countries.
It is sometimes, depending on which countries they want to combine, we tell them that it can be difficult. Well, a month ago, the land frontiers between Chile and Argentina, for example, they were still closed. So if somebody was telling me that he wanted to travel to both, I was just telling him or one country or the other. But and yeah, we have to see how it develops.
And then considering numbers to Latin America at the moment compared to pre-pandemic, how far off you of normal numbers?
I think we are right now at about 30 to 40% of what we had 2019, and we're expecting to have this year about 50% of what we had 2019, and I think not much more.
Right. Right, and that leads me to another question. At one point, people were thinking that clients were going to want to do everything in private, go to very remote areas, avoid crowded places. I personally think that that isn't the case, really, that people just want to do exactly the same as they used to. So like group tours are still a thing. People thought that that was going to maybe diminish. Do you feel there's any kind of real change in what people are looking for, independent of what you can provide? And maybe, like you were saying, you're not going to induce them to do multiple countries because it's too complicated logistically at the moment. But are they actually looking for different things, or do you feel that people are looking for exactly what they used to be looking for in terms of travel interests?
Well, I think that the people are looking for more nature and to have all the tour a little bit more relaxed. So not moving each day to another hotel. Indeed, they want to stay 3 or 4 nights in one hotel and make some excursions from that hotel and then change to another one and have like 3 or 4 points on the whole tour. And that's what we noticed. We have a lot of FITs, much more than group requests. And yeah, and I think they want to be also they are hiring a lot of private villas where there's a family on their own. They want to relax a lot. Many people, well, they don't want to skip a week on the beach at the end, for example. That's something that I also noticed that wasn't before. So they want to use the time, they want to get down and yes, and to have some relaxation.
Okay, so there is a bit of a change in people's mindset on how travel is supposed to be. How about for you, Chris? I think it will
be for the first travel now. I think later on it will again change when it's, yeah, they probably more.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, everything is changing constantly anyways. Yeah. You know, we are adapting constantly to all what's happening around us, but it's interesting to see and to know what people are feeling right now. So thank you so much for all that info. So Chris, what about you? What do you think? Are people looking for different things?
Actually, we were already promoting before the pandemic, even smaller groups like family travel, we put some family programs in our brochure and on our website for the different destinations in Latin America. Travel in small group, private groups, sometimes companies or anything. So that was already a bit of a focus and something we promoted. And we saw, especially families traveling together, that has increased a lot the latest year. So people travel, which we called in Belgium, in their small bubble, so they without any contact. What about the destinations? We were already promoting off the beaten track destinations in the several countries, so we don't really see that a lot of difference between that, because that's our main focus, of course, for Travel Sensations, to promote something else than the colleagues and competition in Belgium.
Right, so you were kind of already in that vibe even before it all happened, so it worked out well for you.
And I must say, we already caught the attention of the public, of the clients doing that. So and people are getting to know us in that way as well. So they are contacting us to do exactly that what we were intended to do. So
perfect.
A nice evolution for us. But it started already before the pandemic.
Yeah, no, that's nice. It's nice that you anticipated the need of the people.
You never thought that such a disaster was going to happen, of course.
Yeah. And I can't remember, did you tell me how you were doing regarding pre-pandemic levels in sales at the moment?
Well, it's hard to compare because we had a few of the best months selling in Latin America, beginning 2020.
Yes.
So we're we are not at that level of not at all, but it's increasing, and we're doing quite well. We have several bookings each week. I just booked again in Costa Rica, but also Peru and other countries are. We're also planning more and more, which we already did during the pandemic. So Zoom meetings, promotion to travel agents, because those are our direct clients, of course, and organizing again together with like Prom Peru and different evenings, so to promote destinations again.
Right, so you're boosting, you're doing a lot of, so you're investing in some activities with the travel agencies to promote the destinations of Latin America.
We have been doing so during the pandemic, but now we restarted it, and so we're, like you said, a bit pushing it, the destination again, and so hopefully
that's great news, because you were telling me before we started this conversation with everybody else that Latin America had grown a lot pre-pandemic, so you had kind of like a real interesting peak in sales for Latin America pre-pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think people are quite confident in the destinations, so it is a bit of fall back, but I think it will retake. Maybe not this year, but I think it will slowly retake this year. Not like we expected before that it would emerge enormously, that it won't do, but I think by the end of the year I think we will be at normal on a normal level, and certainly for 2023 I think it will be.
Okay, so by the end of this year we should be back.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, so
again, fingers crossed.
Of course.
And how about you, Hilda?
Well, I think the trends, like Chris says, is before was also in the Netherlands. People wanted to spend more time in one destination. People spend more money to do luxury and deeper travel or sustainable travel. But it's coming back strongly also here in the Netherlands. So people want to do that the same that before. But what we think is new now is people want to be sure to have safety, security, that we have all the insurance possible, that the policies are more flexible. So everybody's asking, what if I have corona there? What if I need to cancel my trip in the middle? So that is the new trend. Of course, people want to travel deeper. They have 2 years to study the destinations, you know, to see in the televisions, to see in our programs, to look in internet what I can do when the corona ends. So people have more knowledge about what they want, and they know from social media, from internet, which accommodations they want to have. So it's nice to have like an really advanced traveler now. But what is new is that everybody want to have safety and security when they book the travel. The investment must be sure, that the money must be in right hands, and when happens something unexpected, they can have it again. Yes.
And is it easy to get insurance that will cover all of that in Holland?
Well, the problem in the Netherlands is we, like tour operator, are responsible for everything. When the country closes, when the country's orange, we need to pay everything. So it's difficult. But if somebody have corona before the departure, they are fully insured. But when they have corona during the travel, they need to pay, if we need to help them. So it is difficult. I mean, I really hope that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen something real with the war and with all of other unexpected pandemic of a new virus. I don't know, but right now we are really responsible. So what we are asking to our partners and to our DMC and hotels is to be also flexible, like we are. We are more, sensitive. We are more connected. We understand what in the families happen, or what's happened with the work. So we are trying to be service and understand to the client, and we ask to the partner to do the same. So that is completely new, because you have rules and you have and policies, but now with the corona time and with the kind of clients that we have, you need to be flexible and understand them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And do you make sure then that your clients have this insurance? Because I know with Omicron, a lot of people were testing positive just before catching their flight because they needed to do a PCR test. Yes. And were they then able to get all their money back and not having the hotels having to be so, like you were saying, flexible every time, because it's obviously a big hit for the hotel when just before they arrive.
Yeah, they get that, now, when you get corona before you have to fly, you are completely insured, so it's okay. You're completely covered. And most of the people wait till 14 days because then you have your certification that I have corona and I'm ready with it. So the hotels were able to, for example, rebook to another date of in the international flights. For example, with KLM, it was really easy to change the date, and the insurance, when it was not possible for the hotel, the insurance paid to the client, so that was good. The problem was when we have, for example, in January, people in Chile who they fly to Chile and they tested positive there, and you need to have the hotel and they need to stay there, and you need to change flights. So we are flexible with the clients and with our partners. Was really nice until now, but it's not with all. You have a lot of products. You have a lot of, for example, in Galapagos, when something happened with the cruise, I understand they cannot do anything. So it's really challenge time.
Yeah,
we are learning to deal with it.
Yeah, thank you, Hilda. How about you, Vivian? Are people like full on insured now? Is it easy to get coverage for everything? How does that work?
Well, we always offer an insurance when we send the offers to clients. It goes with a partner that we have, and they have also like an additional insurance for COVID. But not many do it, and many have themselves already an insurance, so they don't take it over us. And yes, I think mainly the people do have something, especially if they book not in a short term and they book like 1, 2, 3 months in advance. They want to be sure that if something happens and they get COVID or something, that they will not have to pay anything. And we also try with our local partners to arrange some things. And of course, rebookings are okay for them. But there are also some services on spot, especially, for example, in Peru, the luxury section. They want to have all the money 60 days before, and they have really strong cancellation fees that we cannot manage that with our clients. So it's also difficult for us to arrange a tour to that destinations. And also when we offer something to clients, we give them the opportunity that was now for bookings till October this year, that they can cancel the tour without any fees till 90 days before the departure, and paying just a little fee about between 100 and 300 euros. And they could reduce that till 29 days before departure. They could cancel without having any reason, whatever they wanted.
Right, so with no explanation whatsoever, just...
Yeah, and that's what we tried, so that people, well, want to book and feel safe to book, so that they, are feeling safe about it.
Yeah, fair. Well, that's good. That's a good policy. How about you, Chris? Because I mean, I know a lot of the hotels suffer from the fact that they're being asked constantly to be super flexible, and then sometimes it's because the customer hasn't had proper insurance that should be able to cover when you have like a positive before traveling, for example. Do you guys make sure that people are well aware and that they get the proper insurance?
Yes, we do, but we don't sell that much insurances ourselves. We do have to offer it, but usually the clients take it or through their travel agency or do have insurance of their own, which in Belgium normally covers quite everything. So there's most of insurances have included consequences of COVID. So usually the clients are covered. But I must say, our partners in the several countries in South America and Latin America we're really flexible about everything. We still have a lot of credit of files we already paid, but that will hopefully serve for new requests and new confirmations, which I'm sure it will. But airlines have been flexible. We usually work as well a lot with KLM, Air France, Lufthansa, and those airlines have been quite flexible in about canceling or refunding even or rebooking. So that was, we did have some problems, but mostly in other destinations like Africa and Asia, not that much in Latin America. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. And just also a little bit out of curiosity regarding the companies, the three companies here, did you have to downsize a lot during the pandemic, and did you have to rehire as soon as things picked up, or how has the model changed as well? Are people traveling from home? Is it a hybrid? How are you seeing the travel industry developing and in the future? And how's it been for you?
Well, we were working from April 2020, we were working part-time, working from home. Whenever we could or whenever it was allowed, we worked from the office. But we did work a lot of home, sometimes only 1 day a week. Now it's restarted again. We're almost at full time again. I'm working 4 days a week again, which actually means in reality 5, but officially only 4. So during a lot of periods where we had a lot of work, but with the new variant, it was sometimes difficult to plan.
So it's back to the office basically for Travel Sensations.
Yeah, we do have a working office. So a lot of the colleagues prefer to work from home, are a bit free in doing so. So, but I prefer to work at the office. I'm at home at the moment, but
so people get to choose. Nowadays, people get to choose if they work from home or if they work in the office.
I think it will be more flexible in the future as well, whether you prefer to work at the office or at home. That will of course be a consequence from the pandemic, that companies will be more flexible in where you work, how do you work.
Sure.
So that's a bit.
And you, Hilda, considering you have a new, nice new office in Amsterdam, are people coming into the office? Are you a bit of a hybrid? What's the idea?
Well, we were always free, that people who wanted to come to the office, they were free to come. But now the idea is, well, I never realized myself 2 years ago that I would like to work from home because I have 2 small kids. So in the middle of the pandemic, it was like impossible to work from home. But now the SEAL team is working at the office 3 days a week and 2 days at home. And the other people from operation of administration team are working 2 days at the office and 3 days at home. But the people like Chris, they are free. I mean, people who likes more to see the college, to drink some coffee together. It's something that we miss it a lot, and people are free to come. So it's nice that we are again coming, but it's an hybrid way of work for sure. So
cool,
from home and from the office. Yes.
That's amazing. And for you, Vivian?
Well, we at the beginning of the pandemic, we had to reduce some people in our office. We are now looking for people, I think, because we have a lot of work on our table, and we are working. Well, we can decide. We can stay at home, and we can come to the office. So everybody is free to decide right now, and this will come to an end for the end of this month, in end of March. And there will be no home office that people can stay at home. So we will have to see how it changes. I think our company is working on the possibility that for the future the people can decide to stay 2 days at home if they want or not. And I think that's quite good for us. It made some changes, but you can also organize yourself something a little bit better. And sometimes you need to be a little bit more calmed down when you do some work. And so you can stay at home, for example, if you want to see some colleagues and you need to get some questions answered or something, you come to the office. So I think that's a good thing that came out from all of this.
Great. Yeah, I agree. I think it's good to have a hybrid. We've got only 5 minutes left, so I think there's a few questions. Maybe Alice, have you been monitoring the chat group?
Exactly. That's the time where I step into the conversation again, guys. That was being super productive. We are arriving at the end of our meeting. So on behalf of Remote Community, I'm going to bring up some questions here. A lot came through the chat. Mostly were already replied. But I guess Henry from Costa Rica posted a question which pretty much summarizes everyone's question on their head, which is basically how is Latin American looking compared to other regions such as Africa, Asia. That was also partly replied, but I guess if you guys could come up with some rough numbers, I'm sure everyone will be super interested and curious to hear. And I'm going to place the second one on top of it, so because we are little time, so feel free, Odile, to organize the questions however you prefer. There is a question also, besides the rough numbers, from Clark Cotula, who's here with his dog. I can see the video. And Clark has brought up the question on Peru. So anyone have any idea why Peru is not getting as much attention? Seems closer for everyone compared to Chile and Argentina. I mean, what's happening there through our travel designers' guests' perspectives?
Yeah, I think if everybody can just answer both at the same time, I mean, I don't think it's...
Yes.
So who wants to start?
I think everything is question of promotion, and Peru will become strongly again for sure. I think that if the good promotion is with travel agents, for example, that with fan trips for travel agents, that people know that Peru is doing very well, that is safe, that will come up also in the Netherlands. And for the rest, about the well, if somebody else wants to reply about the other countries, for us is Middle East is growing. I don't know why, but a lot, maybe because it was always open in the pandemic. And Africa is doing also very, very well. So it's like 40, 33 and 25 for Latin America. But that is in our case in the Netherlands. I don't know in Germany or in Belgium it's the same.
It's more or less, I would say, the same. We mainly also have, well, like I said, just hotels, or then it's mainly Europe. And then we have following Africa and the Arab countries. Then comes, well, America, it all, I think, first North America and then Central and South America. And Asia, it's a problem right now.
Yeah. And what about Peru? Do you see that Peru is a bit like left behind?
Perhaps a bit. I have in 2 weeks some people starting for Peru. Well, I have the problems with the luxury products that they are not that flexible, and I have some problems that I have to give the clients really strong restrictions and cancellation fees. And that's something that's not that nice, and the client feels not that comfortable, and that could be a reason that, especially for the deluxe segment, the people, well, don't book it, because if I tell them that 90 days before they already have 50% of cancellation fees, and then 60 days before 100, the client doesn't know what will happen 60 days before.
Right.
But I had the booking that I have now over Easter. The Peru is fully booked in the luxury segment, so the hotels are really full.
Okay, good. And Chris?
No, you have to put the microphone.
Something happened with
now.
I'm sorry. About Peru, strangely enough, it was indeed the case that there were less requests for Peru, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. Peru is a destination in Belgium that's quite known. A lot of people already traveled to Peru, and suddenly it stopped. And that's why also we're putting in more effort to promote again Peru, because in some way it's needed. I don't know why, but I really don't know why Peru is a bit like is a bit out of the picture. But I'm sure it will retake, because of course with such strong attractions and the country has so such a variety of highlights, it will retake. That's not a problem. About the other question, indeed, it's a bit an evolution. Africa has grown for sensations, but I think it's just the simple reason that the continent was less affected than other continents by the pandemic. So a lot of countries even stayed open, like Kenya, Tanzania, or almost open or were closed. And that's why I think a lot of countries in Latin America were closed for almost 2 years or a year and a half. And that of course infected, I think, attention to the people. That's simply, I think, indeed what Hilda said. Also, if the countries restart promoting, I think it will be business as usual very, very fast. So, certainly for a country like Peru, we all know some of the main attractions. So I don't think it will be a problem.
Okay, so there's hope for Peru.
There certainly is a lot of hope for Peru.
That's good news. Well, I think we're kind of coming to an end. Do we have time for last words, or are we a bit tight?
We always have time for final words. So if anyone would like to place a final question, open the mic, and this is time to say goodbye. It always comes. We like to keep it time sharp. So yes, feel free everyone to place final words before I give the final note on behalf of Remote.
Well, I would say it's not time to say goodbye. We're all coming back right now. And yes, let's cross fingers. And I think also everything in half a year or something, I think we can say it will come to normality. A part of the political situation that we have right now, that's something else. But to travel, looking forward to have many clients wanting to get to know the whole world.
Yes,
for sure. It's really nice to have this conversation. So thank you very much for the invitation, and we are full of hope to the future. So let's keep being positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hilda.
Thanks as well for.
Thank you so much. Yes, Chris.
Thanks for all the people who attended, and I don't see them all, but I'm sure I knew some people personally, so it was nice to meet again and to see some people again, and it was a nice feeling to see that there are a lot of people so positive, and I think. With reason that we should be positive, and I think it will retake quite soon. Awesome. It will be another difficult year, I think, but let's see. Let's hope let's see the sun shining again by the end of the year.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for our guests, Chris, Vivian, Hilda, for your straightforward information, and Odile, our super guest, for the brilliant conduction of this conversation. And it's never time to say goodbye, actually. We're always here, connected. And tomorrow we'll have another panel for those who are available to join again, same time, with Tanya and some other travel designers guests from Latin America to talk about the perspectives for this year and beyond. So that's pretty much it. The panel will be in Spanish because we have some Spanish speakers only. Well, they prefer to, and since it's a Latin American conversation about the market, we felt it was quite all right to handle it in Spanish. So before we all leave, I'll just ask if anyone feels comfortable to open up the camera just for a brief picture, like a short screen for everyone who feels open up the camera, like for one final minute for us to take a nice picture. Ah, nice. Yes, thank you guys. So let me wait for a few more cameras on, and then we can take our picture. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, guys. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Alice and Odile.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all.
Thank you all.
See
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.